Hey there, it's Chris Hogg with Digital Journal, and we are live at Inventures. And I'm pleased to say I'm sitting down with Judyanna Yu to talk about investment, early stage investment in the life sciences and in biotech. Judyanna, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks for the invitation.
So talk to us a little bit about when we were chatting about the approach to this space. Life sciences is a very, very huge industry, and biotech, there's a difference. So let's first address what are we talking about in the space in which you invest?
Sure. So with my fund called 168 Ventures, we invest in medical technology, so medtech. But life sciences does include a lot of things. And a lot of individuals, when they think about life sciences, or when they think about it from the perspective of investments, they always shy away from it, saying, oh, life sciences or biotech is very risky, it's very long term, it's like gambling. So within life sciences, there are different areas. So biotech falls under that, like biotechnology. Mm-hmm. That's your drug development, your pharmaceutical. Then there's medtech, which is medical devices, digital health platforms and whatnot. That falls under that. And there's also health services, which are like clinics.
So there's a lot of folks who will follow us who know the venture space or the investment space in tech, in SaaS, in different industries. What's the state of early stage investing in your world? How mature is it, and where's the focus?
Yeah, early stage sounds scary, but when we invest in early stage, for us it's seed to Series A. MedTech is different. MedTech, a lot of companies exit through an acquisition, through larger companies like Medtronic, Stryker, mm-hmm. Johnson & Johnson. And they usually exit within 10 to 12 years of incorporation. So when we come in at C2 Series A, generally these companies have been developing their technologies for 5-7 years. So we sometimes can map out the potential exit and the timing for that. So it's a lot shorter term than something compared to biotech, which is very lengthy, a lot more expensive.
And so the investment model, a venture business that would look to see companies go public, you're planning for the exit from day one?
Companies that are developing something, sorry, come again with that?
So a lot of the investment thesis, I guess, you're planning for an exit. Your return comes when a company exits, because going public in the life sciences or biotech space, I'm assuming doesn't happen as often as it would in tech, let's say.
That's true. There are a lot of companies that go through an IPO as well. For us, we come from an operating background. So we've been CEO and CFO for biotech and medtech companies for many years. Mm-hmm. So when we look at an investment, we do look at what's the potential exit. Like, are they going to be acquired, who the acquirers are, what those valuations are, what timing do they come in. So we do map it out as well when we take a look at each opportunity.
And what are you seeing in terms of momentum with biotech in Canada? Is it mature relative to other markets? Because I know you also come with an international background.
Yeah, so there are a lot of really good innovations across Canada, especially in biotech as well, but we are not as established as places in US, obviously, Europe and Asia. There has been really good deals in the past, like Fusion Pharmaceutical exited last summer to AstraZeneca, mm-hmm. and then Chinook Therapeutics, another really good example, 2 summers ago, got acquired by Novartis, I believe.
And so what about where the industry is lagging? Are there certain aspects or focal points that you really want to see improvement? Because there's lots of different stages from early to growing. As far as a maturity standpoint, do you think we being Canada, needs to do something different to move things along?
We do, and I think we're going in the right direction. It's building critical mass, and I've seen that in all stages right now, and it's quite exciting. So I did come from a very global background. I moved back to Canada during COVID in the biotech space and medtech space. And I have seen a lot of more investors in this space, more government grants in this space, more ecosystem players that's pushing things forward. Mm-hmm. So I think everyone plays their part. Like the researcher continues to innovate. There's grants that continues to support early stage. There's a lot of friends and family and angel investors that also fund these early stage companies. And then there's more and more VCs, venture capital funds like ourselves that are really specialized, and we fund, seed to Series A, so the, kind of still the early stage portion. And then there's also larger funds and PEs that funds the later stage companies.
When you're evaluating a company for investment, what are the signals you're looking for?
We look at a lot of things, and that's why medtech is very interesting. We look at the technical feasibility. We look at the regulatory pathways. Can we map those out? We look at IP. Do they have a really strong IP strategy and moat that kind of protects their technology, but also gives them freedom to operate? We look at the team, and we sometimes when we look at companies that has exited and have done really well, it's because they've done it before. So founders like that are great, but there's also founders who, it's their first company, but they built a really strong team around them to help them succeed.
One of the things that we've heard lots as we cover the life sciences and biotech space is commercialization isn't always an obvious step for an entrepreneur who's taking her or his journey, where they come out of academia, maybe they've built something great. Maybe they're trying and getting a little bit of product market fit, but commercialization is a bit of a gap. Do you find that, or is that, do you find that that's true across the board, or that academic to entrepreneur journey, is there something that we need to do to foster the growth there?
We do need experts and individuals who know how to commercialize to assist these companies. In medtech as well, typically when you have a team that's innovating and doing research and development, or even in the clinical stage, they may not have the right team to help them commercialize and kind of access the market. So typically companies may be working with larger distributors or companies who know how to expand into the market. So it is finding the right group, but also planning early enough ahead, talking to the right companies that could help you to kind of expand and commercialize once you get FDA approval.
And a lot of entrepreneurs will look for smart money if they're doing it well, and not just capital. What does smart money look like in the biotech space? Like you and your team, your background, how do you help do more than just fund a company?
That's really important. It is important to find smart money when there is that choice, to find strategic investors that not only can provide capital, but more importantly, strategic advice and partnership. So investing in your company, but helping you kind of helping you get through the next few stages, helping you kind of find global partners to kind of help you expand outside of, let's say, Canada.
And your background, anything that you've learned along the way that you can help apply with entrepreneurs?
Yeah, so I've been CFO for medtech and biotech companies now for 12 years, and working around the globe with U.S. biopharma companies in Asia and Canada as well. It's bringing that global network of physicians, scientists, and operators who've all built companies in the past, but bringing that knowledge here to kind of help companies in Canada.
So for the biotech founders who might be watching, or aspiring founders, what are some of the mistakes you see early stage founders make, and what should they be paying attention to not do?
I think with biotech, that's our focus more is in medtech. I have worked in biotech in the past, but medtech companies, it's thinking beyond just creating a technology, but thinking through the regulatory pathways, the timing of that, how much capital you need to get there, what kind of teams you need beyond just the research side. So when you're pivoting to the clinical side, get teams that have done clinical studies before. And then beyond that, get teams who can help you with the business development side of, beyond that, what next? Are you going to partner with someone who's going to license your technology or acquire you, or help you expand outside of Canada?
And in the Canadian founder journey, are you seeing or hearing about companies staying and investing here, or do they grow here and then move somewhere else? Because that brain drain or leave effect is a challenge across industries. Does it happen in medtech?
It does, and it's unfortunate. There's just a lot more capital outside of Canada right now, but we are seeing a change, that there's more smart money coming into Canada. So hopefully with that, there'll be more companies choosing to stay in Canada.
Any exciting opportunities or kinds of med tech or like practical applications that you're watching out for? Like, what are you putting your money behind?
We're seeing some really first-in-class breakthrough technologies in Canada, and a lot of these companies have had strategic investors and international investors coming in, and we're excited about this because they're developing something novel that's really filling a big gap in health inefficiencies, and we're also seeing not only ourselves but other international partners backing these technologies. If
you could look 5 years out and sort of wave a magic wand on where you hope the biotech or medtech space is going to be from a maturity standpoint, are there certain things you want to see done to help get the ecosystem to that point?
Yeah, so the reason why we're around and we're building this fund is because we do have that experience and that global network. And so funding these companies, helping them become successful, I think will draw more individuals, like at least draw more attention to this space, so more individuals will participate and invest in innovations.
Judyanna, thanks so much for joining us. It's been a great conversation.
Thank you, Chris. This has been wonderful.
So for more information on the medtech and biosciences or biotech space, life sciences as a whole, you can visit digitaljournal.com for more coverage. Thanks for joining us.